who's joining us. My position has always been that biofeedback is a marriage, a combination or partnership of you understanding biofeedback, but you also understanding the principles of natural health. And I had 4 years of back-to-back training in medical school, naturopathic medical school, and then years of going to these continuing education seminars. You might not have had that privilege. I want to bring that information to you, and that's what I do through my classes. So definitely check out this class if there's any way you can do it. Definitely join us. If you need to make special arrangements for a payment plan, then just get in touch with me and we can certainly work that out. But definitely read about the class, see if the class is for you. We're going to be doing some groundbreaking things in the class, and you will be very happy that you can help yourself and help the people around you. So it actually starts on the 20th. It doesn't start this week, it starts next week. So that's Harmonizing Cancer, and you guys have the link in your in the chat there, and I'll be sending it out in the newsletter. We also have a Thursday Facebook Live, so Thursday at 1 o'clock, and that's a little bit of a different format. We're doing some interviews. Look for the email for that in the newsletter. Look for the link in the newsletter. So we've got our Facebook Live on Thursdays at 1 o'clock Pacific time. And I know that people have been asking me to really be clear. So that's 1 o'clock Pacific, and then that's going to be 4 o'clock Eastern time. Then we're going to be having our Genius Summit in the first week in March, and I just have to get the links ready for that for you guys to register for that. So we'll be interviewing different practitioners. We have very esteemed and wonderful practitioners and users that we're going to be talking to. And then I will be in San Diego in the end of April. So if you'd like to meet me live and do a weekend intensive with me, I will be in San Diego the last week in April. So I was going to see if I can bring that up here. Let me do this. So last week in April, I'll be there. So if you want to come in April, you can certainly ask me more about that, and I'll have better marketing for that coming up. So that's in San Diego the last weekend in April. That's our Genius Intensive weekend that you guys want to put your seatbelt on, because we're going to be doing a lot of hands-on training. So if you've ever wanted somebody to show you directly in person and you learn better that way, then definitely figure out how you can get to San Diego. Of course, the weather's always beautiful there. That's going to be at the end of April. Should be a very, very nice time of year. And I'll be there for an introductory talk on Friday night, and then all day Saturday and all day Sunday, we will be doing how do you use the Genius, what is the Genius, what is energy medicine, how do you make remedies, how do you imprint remedies, how do you think about cases. We'll do lots of cases live. What this is doing here. We'll do lots of cases live. I think it wasn't showing that. Let me just show that one more time here. This is the link here. And so that will be at the end of April. So we really have a lot going on, as I said, in the Genius community. We're really trying to grow quite a bit. This is a big year for energy medicine. It's a year that more people are becoming aware. So if you want to be more active, become a practitioner. And we're also giving people the opportunity, to be an affiliate and to make this more of a home-based business, or a business that you can do yourself. So you can certainly ask me about the affiliate program as well. All right, so let's talk about the triple warmer, and then let's get to our cases. The triple warmer is something we haven't talked about a lot with the Genius, and I want to just call to your attention today the power behind the meridians. So some of you are acupuncturists and you have a much better understanding of the meridians than I do as a naturopath, but I'm going to do my best, because I think this is a really underutilized part of our program, and I want to give you more education so that you can also use this. I just want to add these to the client here. Okay, So let's go ahead and do a scan. I have a case in here that Carol has sent me. It's so weird. Okay, that's working. I have a case in here that Carol has sent to me. Carol's a practitioner and a user of the Genius, and we're going to cover her case. Right now, I just want to look at the meridians, and then we'll get into the case, and then we'll take as many cases as we can. So you can volunteer for that by sending me your date of birth. So the meridians are a representation of the energy within the body. And fortunately, the triple heater is definitely one that's up for her. Lung, heart, and triple heater, that's interesting. Okay, so they are basically energy. They're energetic in the body. So what better place to go to with an energy medicine tool than the meridians? And if you just did a meridian tune-up with every client, it would be quite powerful. So if you only worked on the meridians, it would be very powerful. The meridians are representative of physical, energetic, mental, and spiritual aspects. They're quite rich. And really, when you start to read about Chinese medicine, you will be entering into an entire philosophy about the wisdom of how to live one's life in a way that really promotes health and promotes longevity in a way that's wise, not a way that, hey, let's take a supplement and, let's go forward from there. Let's just see what happens. Let's take a medication. It's really incredible. It is elegant in its wisdom and in the information you can glean from Chinese medicine. So I really encourage you as a layperson, or even as maybe another type of practitioner, to read a book on Chinese medicine philosophy and begin to learn the different meridians and what they mean. Now, the meridians are also elucidated or explained in my mastery guide. So if you don't have it, go to my website and type in mastery guide and make sure you pick up a copy of the mastery guide. It's as not so much a manual. Of course, there's a manual of how to use the Genius that the company has come up with, but this is more how I see the practical use of the Genius and give you lots of hints about why to use a particular frequency. And it's a reference guide. This is a guide that you should always keep by your desk or close at hand that you can look at and refer to when certain frequencies come up. It's always been a question from the users, well, how do I know what to do when lung meridian comes up? This book tells you that. And the more that you read the information that comes up for you or a client, the more you will begin to take that in and absorb it. So then when you see it for the 4th, 5th, 7th, or 100th time, you'll say, oh, I understand what this is now. And you'll start putting the pieces together. So this is the triple heater down here. The reason I wanted to bring it up is because the triple heater is significant, really, you guys, in almost every case. One really interesting thing that I've learned in over, going on 15 years of being naturopath is that everything goes back to the digestion. And that is not just a generalization. I was just going over different seminars that have been given for our profession. And you even see now we're able to tie the health of the kidneys, the health of the heart, everything to the health of the GI tract. And that includes not just it includes the stomach, it can even include the mouth, the stomach, the small intestine, which is 26 feet, yes, feet of tubing inside the body that helps you to absorb your food, and also your large intestine, which is 6 feet of a larger tube that helps to regulate some water and also, of course, eliminate waste. So the triple warmer is like, it's an energetic, or it's called the triple warmer and the triple heater interchangeably. And this energetic area is about assimilation. It's about being able to take your food, and the word heat, we need to think of cooking food. We need to take in energetically what we eat, and we need to be able to turn it into qi. So just look at the American diet and think, are most of the things that people consuming have a, a snowball's chance in heck of being able to be easily converted into usable qi? So think about that. Think about the energetics of the food that you're eating. We're moving away from a model where we looked at the calories and the macros of the food and going to look at the energetics of the food. What is the vibrational frequency of the food? That's one to think about. What is the quality of the food? What is the energetic imprint of the food? What is the resonance of the food? The late Dr. Marshall from Premier Research, he would say that he never got the same result from from a supplement that contained organotherapy, that meaning, something from a pig or a cow. So he never got the same results because the vibrational resonance was much higher when he used non-animal products. So he was looking at the energetics all the time and thinking about it. So the triple warmer is an energetic space, and it will be very, very good for you to consider always testing it and always including it. It actually has a pulsed energy to it. And if you listen to the cicada, we'll listen to that briefly. The cicada, a lot of animals and insects, their sounds are a sacred sound that can help you to transform, which is why it's so powerful to go out into nature. And the energetic of the triple warmer, I believe you can sort of retune yourself by spending some time listening to the sound of the triple warmer, which is the cicada sound. Let's just briefly see if we can hear this a little bit. So that is the pulsed sound. And, you can all try this. You could be running the cicada while you're running the triple warmer. Or you could be creating a neuro remedy, which I can show you how to do with the cicada. So go and spend some time with YouTube or an MP3 player and listen to that nature sound of the cicada and focus on the area in the general sort of central trunk of the body. So let me read a little bit about the triple warmer from the reference guide. The triple warmer is not a self-contained organ, but rather a functional energy system involved in regulating the activities of other organs. You guys, everything relates back to digestion. It does not matter what condition you're dealing with. If you deal with the digestion like the triple warmer, you will make everything better. So it is composed of 3 parts known as burners, each associated with the body's 3 main cavities, the thorax, the abdomen, and the pelvis. So the stomach, the small intestine, and the large intestine. Now, these are energetic qualities. They don't exactly correlate with the real organs at all, but just to give you an idea where these energies are located, they obviously are close to the actual organs. As an ancient Chinese medicine text states, the upper burner controls intake, the middle burner controls transformation, and the lower burner controls elimination. The upper burner runs from the base of the tongue to the entrance of the stomach and controls the intake of air, food, and fluids. It harmonizes the functions of the heart and lungs, governs respiration, and regulates the distribution of protective energy to the body's external surfaces. The middle burner runs from the entrance of the stomach down to its exit at the pyloric valve and controls digestion by harmonizing the functions of the stomach, spleen, and pancreas. This is in my reference guide on page 36 if you're following along. So it regulates the stomach, spleen, and pancreas, you guys. If there's anything wrong with those organs, you have to go back to the main principles of digestion and address the triple warmer. It's responsible for extracting nourishing energy from food and fluids. You guys, what's the whole purpose of eating? Although it's a pleasurable act, the whole purpose is to turn your food and fluids into qi, into usable energy. Sorry, I've got a bit of cough again. So it is responsible for extracting nourishing energy from food and fluids and distributing it via the meridian system to the lungs and other parts of the body. The lower burner runs from the pyloric valve down to the anus and urinary tract and is responsible for separating the pure from the impure products of digestion, absorbing nutrients and eliminating solid and liquid waste, of course. Now, the lower burner, harmonizes the functions of the liver, the kidney, the bladder, the large and small intestine, and also regulates sexual and reproductive functions. Well, go figure. Maybe a sexual and reproductive or hormonal function is impaired because digestion is impaired. Some medical researchers believe that the triple warmer or triple burner or triple heater, these are all interchangeable terms, is associated with the hypothalamus. Brain stuff. We know about leaky brain, the part of the brain which regulates appetite, fluid balance, body temperature, heartbeat, blood pressure. Wow. Have you ever gone to your cardiologist and your cardiologist told you to clean up your diet in order to make your heart better? Well, maybe they should learn a little bit about the principles of Chinese medicine, because yes, cleaning up that triple heater, running this energy to harmonize it, is very connected to the heart. It's connected to the heartbeat and blood pressure. Ever heard somebody help lower your blood pressure by correcting your digestion? So probably a naturopath. So you guys, if you are concerned with anybody's health, from cancer to fatigue, you guys, you will never go wrong helping them with their digestion. And that's something that we talk about in all the practitioner programs, is having a basic guide to wellness. One of the most powerful things that I learned to help you guys is that you do not need a license to be a wellness practitioner. You do not need a license to be a wellness practitioner. It's one of the, last bastions of, freedom, I guess, that we have, is you could go out on a corner today and teach people how to be well. Just don't say that you're treating their illness. As long as you show them how to be well, anyone can do this. So what I recommend from now going forward is always test your meridians and use at least the highest and the lowest meridian in all of your harmonizing. And remember, I go all the way up to 200 in my lower numbers. And we're going to talk about the pericardium. It's really interesting. If you loosen up the pericardium, you massively increase blood flow in the body. And we'll talk about that in another session. So check the triple heater. If the digestion is in question, use it even if it appears to be in balance. And when considering a single meridian, consider also utilizing the points. So I'm just try to see if I can go to settings here and turn that off. Nope. And accessories, nope. Trying to see if I can turn that. Okay, let's just go back to here. All right, so then consider using the points. So when you're using the points, and you could study the points better, I guess that'll be the next part of the reference guide, is what each of the points represents and how they're, it's really a long study, of course. There's a little bit of a hint here, but I don't always find them helpful. So the monks and neck rigidity, it's not really that helpful. But learning actually about the particular points. But the points help to laser focus your harmonizing. So use some of the points within the triple warmer. Always start with digestion, you guys. Digestion is just amazing how, even after all my years of study, it continues to show us how important it is and how powerful it is. Now let's go to a case that's rather complicated. And this was submitted by one of our practitioners from the UK. So warm welcome. Thank you so much for being here and joining us today. And we're going to try to get through as much as possible. I've already input her details. We don't use voice and picture for this, but we often get a very good look at the person. They've given their permission to be worked on. So I'm going to sort of try to summarize it a bit, what we're looking at. Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And remember that word overgrowth. SIBO isn't necessarily an infection as much as it is an imbalance. Okay, so again, we're trying to bring harmony back. It's an overgrowth, okay? So everybody can have some of the bacteria that's in SIBO. It's like H. pylori. A lot of people have H. pylori, but it's really an H. pylori overgrowth. H. pylori is a natural part of the gut. She tested positive through a DNA test for Klebsiella and Pseudomonas, tested positive for histamine intolerance and mast cell activation, Yersinia, Epstein-Barr, these are all positive, chlamydia, mycoplasma. So there's lots and lots of gut infections. All right, so something happened to weaken the immune system and to weaken the stomach. I mean, one of the most obvious things that probably happened was the loss of hydrochloric acid. So hydrochloric acid is in your stomach for the purposes of helping you to better digest proteins completely, to activate enzymes that help to digest carbohydrate, to activate enzymes that help to digest protein, but they also help to kill off any infections, you guys. So taking bitters helps to for you to better produce your digestive fluids, your digestive flow, which is part of that triple heater energy. So look into bitters like gentian or other bitters that you can find. Eating some of the different greens, right? Salads and so forth are a way of getting bitters. But see if you can take like an aperitif, take some bitters with your meal. Before your meal is really the best. You know, we do recommend hydrochloric acid. That's a little bit more, you know, hitting the hammer a little bit. Let's actually look at the digestive assessment on this in just a moment. High cortisol, low estrogen, low DHEA. There's a whole bunch of, you know, SNPs. There's information about, I've had IBS for over 20 years. So she does say she's very disciplined. She sticks to a diet, but you have to read between the lines, you guys. To be a good practitioner, look at everything they've been doing and then consider the opposite. So if they've been a strict vegan, what I've really learned over the years that there is no, once you try to get on a particular, I want everyone to be vegan, I think vegan is right, really as a practitioner, you will be shown just the opposite. So you'll be shown the person who thrives on a meat diet or something like that. So the answer to every question I like to say is yes, no, and maybe. So if somebody says that they're very disciplined and they stick to the diet religiously, but they're not getting better, then maybe that is totally the wrong diet for them. So always consider that, you know, we may have to go beyond what we think and what we think we know. So, and discipline may be rigidity. So look at that as well. There's something about when somebody has a chronic illness, there's something about their nature, right, that probably is asking to be massaged, changed, facilitated in some way. My biggest problem is insomnia. I don't sleep deeply. I listen to guided relaxations. I get very bored and extremely tired when I listen to them. So that is something going on with the brain. That is a brain issue. And sleep is a brain issue. Well, I'm regularly on my knees with exhaustion. I'm rarely tired. Yeah, that's a brain sort of cortisol issue. I feel as if my nervous system is personally stuck. I had an extremely unhappy marriage that I stayed in for far too long. My life is now wonderful, and so I should very much like to be able to regain my health and enjoy it more. I'd love to be able to eat a wider range of foods and sleep. I have regular acupuncture and have done that for many years. So it's always really hard to do tough cases, you guys, because they've been to so many people and they often feel, they're often holding an energy which says nothing will work for me. you know, go ahead, show me your best. It's probably not going to work anyway. So they are definitely tough. But the best thing that you can do is start in the gut. In fact, you may not want to do anything else. That's what we call the basic treatment guidelines. And I think I'll try to come up with a new copy for you guys next week. That's the basic lifestyle modifications. What should people do every day? They should drink water. They should take maybe probiotics. They should do some skin brushing, some rebounding. You want to have some basics that will help them to have good digestive habits and then check off the ones that you want for them. But the best place to start here, because there's too many things going on and everything will be made better by an improved digestive system. Let's do some basic testing. First, let's look at the aura. And then what I would recommend is that we test the today's stress, the digestive organs, and then we go into some of the more detailed testing. So let's take a quick look at the aura. So you guys, if you have a complicated case, just like all of you, you know, when you're doing biofeedback, it really almost doesn't matter. Oh, that's weird. I don't know if our practitioner has been sending this woman some energy, because this looks very, very good. This, I guess, yeah, she's doing meditation and yoga. It looks excellent. I don't see any sign of physical illness here, which is really, really interesting when you look at that. And I don't know if our practitioner has been sending her and running energy for her. That could also be true. I'm going to just cut to the chase here and go to our libraries, because I do need to look at some digestive issues. So if we just put her on an appropriate digestive and lifestyle, something to focus on the digestion for 3 weeks to a month, I do believe that we would start to see some changes and just sort of withdraw from our focus on everything else, at least for 2 to 4 weeks. It's hard sometimes as a practitioner to just go to the basics, because we do get so over, you know, analytical on everything. Okay, so esophagus, pancreas, large intestine, small intestine. All right, so we just want to see what the organs are. Then we want to do a quick assessment. Bile sluggish, parasites, dysbiosis. Well, dysbiosis is kind of borderline. Mycotoxin exposure, so nuts, there may be some nuts, poor mineral absorption, enzyme deficiency. It's interesting she has sympathetic dominance, because I think she says that she really does a lot of meditation. Let's see what she says here. Very disciplined. I stick to the diet. I don't drink or smoke. I exercise most days. I practice yoga daily and I meditate. Wow. She's still got sympathetic dominance. Emotional root cause, GMO exposure, gallstones, bile salts low. So she definitely needs some liver assistance. And when that liver chi, that liver energy is not flowing correctly, stop that, then, you know, you have all types of issues. So it definitely looks like the liver needs some assistance. I mean, really from yoga and all that exercise, it should be doing a lot better than it is. I'm trying to remember the birth date, but yeah, so she's postmenopausal. So it's always tricky because the liver becomes so much more sluggish. So for example, if you gave her a daily routine, doing a castor oil pack every day would probably be very, very helpful for this. She also needs those bitters to make her digestion flow better, and that would probably help if she does have parasites. It's surprising to see the parasites with such a strict vegetarian diet or vegan diet, although we don't know how long she has been like that, but it definitely says a compromised tummy, because parasites are able to get through. If you have a really strong fire in your stomach, you guys, you will be able to neutralize any pathogens that are coming in. Let's see what Digestive Solutions holds. Calcium bentonite, bifidus. Now, bifidus is really good for inflammation and for people who have some type of inflammatory issue, like she sort of does. Apple cider vinegar is really good for promoting good stomach acid. I'm not sure why the calcium bentonite is coming up. but it could help with the IBS if she had like diarrhea. So it's really good when people have more loose stools. If they have more constipation, sometimes it can exacerbate that. And then we've got the bifidus. Garlic could be for underlying pathogens. Taurine for the digestive system. It's also good for the adrenals. Proteolytic enzymes go first. So first you could do the round of proteolytic enzymes, or you could do proteolytic enzymes and digestive enzymes. Lots of a need for probiotic here. Ginger, maybe to warm the system. Cloves, possibly for the parasites. Let's go ahead and see what the digestive practices would be. So yeah, I would do, I mean, you're probably in the process of doing this anyway, but I would do 2 to 4 weeks of digestive tune-up and really only focus on that. You have to look at what they're eating too. You have to sort of do a diet diary intake if you're a practitioner, because people will tell you that they're eating, you know, they're eating good food, but then the food that they're eating, let's just do this digestive assessment here, is not really as good as you would think it would be. It's funny, people, I mean, I've even done my own diet diary and I'm like, oh, I didn't even realize I was eating so much of that. So people are really have good intentions, but often they're just not really that aware. So restore parasympathetic activity. I think there's still some emotional piece that we haven't really gotten to. And I think that even with all, you know, maybe it's a day without yoga and just going out and doing something else because we're so focused on, you know, on being healthy, that's actually sort of counterproductive to just being, having fun, living life. So we can also look at, in the main part of the program, we can look at digestion. We can do an assessment there. And then we want to do the emotions and the flower essences. And you guys, all of this is really well laid out in my mastery guide, just about looking at these different aspects. So large intestine, so maybe a colonic, that would help the liver, or a coffee enema. Small intestine, stomach, pancreas. Now, I got you guys, this is exactly what we read about the triple warmer. The triple warmer was out of balance, and remember that the triple warmer energy relates to the functioning of the pancreas, stomach, and small intestine. So that's really, really interesting. So let's now go to just the flower essences. We want to include those, and the flower essences help us to understand the deeper background of what's going on here, you guys, because there's always an emotional narrative to this. And if people say they've worked out all their emotions, but they're still having symptoms, they have not worked out all of their emotions. And who really has? We all have stuff, you know? And so this can help to, at least in a small way, bring some of it up in a way that, you know, can feel more gentle to them. I mean, the whole thing about flowers, you know, you're taking them and you're soaking them in water and you're getting their energetic imprint. They're immensely gentle, and we often need that for women, where we tend to be extremely self-critical. Often this idea of emotional, revealing ourselves emotionally, can feel threatening, or maybe something that a lot of people don't want to do. So then from here, we can actually proceed right on to progressive insights, and we want to see which of these items percolate up to the top. And then we'll look into things a little bit more deeply. Now, we don't really do anything with the left side. This functional zone piece is not really up to what I would like it to be, but we do want to explore the items that are indicated in high and ask ourselves, how do these actually fit together? So we do get some of the triple warmer pieces going to the top, as well as the triple warmer itself. So apple cider vinegar might be the perfect thing for her to begin to increase that stomach acid. Sometimes apple cider vinegar doesn't agree with all patients, so I've more gone the way of the bitters, like gentian bitters. And in the United States, I'm using a really great product, a great bitters product. In fact, if you email me, I can help you to obtain that. Or you can just get gentian bitters. So we want to kind of give a look, well, a lot of things, everything that's sort of coming up high. What is the general tone of this? What is the general theme? I think there's a huge emotional component because we do see so many flower essences sort of lighting up for her. Mycotoxin exposure, I would explore some of the grains and nuts and seeds that she's consuming and make sure there's no mold exposure. Clove is a great antioxidant, but it's also good for parasites. And then rock rose is being very, very afraid of something. So I almost felt from reading that there was an element of fear in there. I couldn't quite, figure out exactly what it was. But yeah, that makes kind of sense. This is terror and fright. And the person may not really know what it is. Okay, so we've got garlic. So you continue to see the need for these digestive remedies. So I would just put together a digestive wellness plan, the best that I could come up with given my expertise and knowing the patient or client. And then I'd put her on that for 21 days and see how she does over the 21 days before I do anything else. And I might even extend it for another week or another couple of weeks, because as the gut is getting better, all of these things will begin to improve markedly. So then we've got small intestine, again, that triple warmer. There's a triple warmer point or triple heater point. Proteolytic enzymes, telling us that enzymes will maybe help to reduce some of the inflammation, and as a result, maybe some of the autoimmune activity. There's another triple heater point. Okay, mimulus. So let's go and look at mimulus. And this is something, if you go to the Inside Health Apps page, this is something we talked about in the last Facebook Live with Caroline Walrad, that's really important that you and the client, whether you're a practitioner of health or you're a biofeedback practitioner, your conversation with them is very instrumental. You're bringing up information. What the genius delivers to people is information. And you and this conversation with the person, helping them to feel more understood, is actually helping them to heal in a very real way. This dialogue between you and trying to understand the person at a deeper level is helping them to heal just in that conversation itself. It's very, very therapeutic. Mimulus, according to Dr. Bach, his original meaning, the fear of worldly things, illness, pain, accidents, poverty, of the dark, of being alone, of misfortune, the fears of everyday life. These people quietly and secretly bear their dread. They do not speak freely of it to others. Keywords: fear, blushing, stammering, shyness, timid, sensitive, lack of courage. And of course, you say these things very gently to the person, as gently as you can reveal these things. I always say, is there a little whisper of truth to that? Does any of that at all resonate for you? And it allows them to lean more deeply into a truth of it if it is uncomfortable for them. Olive says, those who have suffered much mentally or physically and are exhausted and weary, that they do not feel that they're so exhausted and weary that they feel they have no more strength to make any effort. Daily life is hard work for them and without pleasure, lack of energy, fatigue. So that really does sort of match. She's so tired, she's too tired to sleep. So there's many, many more things to consider in this case, but a very, very good initial consideration is to just go to the digestion, even as a practitioner, as you're thinking more about the case. And even as a biofeedback practitioner, you could run a lot of digestive frequencies, and I think you'll bear a lot of fruit, as well as just even giving them the idea that, hey, this is time for you to start thinking about how is your digestion. I really don't meet anyone who has fantastic digestion unless they're working on it every single day. And most people don't understand how to improve it. So castor oil pack, bitters, don't eat while doing anything else, only organic, non-GMO foods, unprocessed foods. Think about that, you guys. How much of your food is completely unprocessed versus how much comes from a prepared package with, quite a few ingredients on it? What's the difference between something you've a dish you've created completely from scratch versus something you eat out of a package, albeit an organic item. If it's prepared, what is the chi value of the food? Agrimony, let's just do one more here. Now you can take these and put them in a singular imprinted remedy. So you could take your 3 top flower essences and create an imprinted remedy for the person to take with them. I'll show you that. The jovial, cheerful, the jovial, cheerful, humorous people who love peace and are distressed by argument or quarrel, to avoid which they will agree to give up much. I mean, did that have something to do with the divorce? I don't know. Though generally they have troubles and are tormented and restless and worried in mind or body, they hide their cares behind their humor and are considered to be very good friends to know. They often take alcohol or drugs in excess to stimulate them and to help them bear their trials with cheerfulness. So she says she doesn't do any of that, but is there any element of truth in that for her? We would have to look at that. So very interesting case with a lot going on, but that's just really to know with complex cases, you can start very simply and you can move mountains, and you don't have to do it through giving them supplements. You can do it through energetics, but allow yourself to begin to see the dance between the actual physical symptoms and the story that the flower essences tell. And you can see the meanings in my reference guides, and also online, I'll be giving you a link in the newsletter. There's a very good website that talks about the original meanings of Edward Bach. And I think sticking to his original meanings is very, very powerful. And those are the ones that I was reading today. All right, so I can't get to all of your comments, you guys, but excellent comments I see coming in. Thank you so much. Some of you are saying that the screen hasn't changed. Have you guys seen the screen changing over the course of, that might be your internet is slow, but has anybody seen their screen change? I have certainly seen the screen changing. So, okay, it's been working fine. So Grace, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and check on the aura. And I'm not sure why the aura was all green in the beginning. I'm thinking that our practitioner has been working on her in the interim, and that's why we saw the aura be so powerful. All right, where is it here? So this is what it was, and then we just do play a few frequencies here for a second, and then we get back to the begin analysis, and it puts it up there. And then, okay, so it's interesting. So now it's, I wonder, I don't know if our practitioner is on here this morning. Let's see. Yeah, there she is. Okay. So I don't know if you want to let us know, were you working on her maybe before or overnight or during the day, because it's daytime in the UK? Because now, the first time we had nice green, this is sort of saying this is more of the physical stuff going on here. So that's kind of interesting. We kind of have been diving more deeply down into the physical stuff. So maybe we can find out from our practitioner. So that's kind of interesting. This is something we see more in the beginning rather than towards the end, although we haven't been running frequencies for very long. We just did it for like a second there. Let's sort of reshuffle everything and then look at it. Okay, so then it's really important. I really like this, you know, peeling the onion and going to the deeper level. You guys, everybody who comes here each week knows that. And you can see that triple heater still percolating to the top, which means a very significant issue to our case. So there are no coincidences, right? Maybe the person who needs this the most is, you know, and there's that gentian. This is the bitters. And really interesting thing about bitters is we have way more bitter receptors in our body than just, listen, this is really fascinating. Carol, you're going to like this too. We have bitters in our gallbladder, but we also have, we have bitter receptors in the mouth, on the tongue. You guys all know that. We also have bitter receptors in the gallbladder. And we have bitter receptors in the thyroid. So think about that. So at its most extreme level, you guys, you could just stop doing everything else and only do balancings on the digestion and the emotions and still get great results. So the simple is always, the solution. Now that's a very, very gross generalization, but this used to happen all the time when I would do cleanses. I would do monthly cleanses. People would come to my office and I would have them just do a 21-day cleanse. They all did the same cleanse, and I probably could have tweaked it a little bit for each person, but there is not one person who did not get better, and often markedly better, just taking the junk out of their diet and really doing some juicing and some cleansing practices like skin brushing and tongue scraping and castor oil. They got markedly better. People lost significant amounts of weight. People felt better. But this is just a digestive cleanse. And I think that the digestive cleanse has gotten, it sort of seems cliche or trite, but it still works. Okay, so she says I had worked on her over the weekend. Okay, I'd worked on her over the weekend. I think that's what we were seeing there. So Carol, if you worked on her over the weekend, I say kudos to you. You did an amazing job because she looked very, very nice sitting in that beautiful green aura. So I think what you were doing was really helping her. Let's see if we can get you on by voice and just talk a little bit about this. I do apologize that we don't have a lot of other time, but you guys can always arrange to have a consultation with me, but also you can arrange to be at the front of the line next week. So just email me and I'll do my very, very best to get you up at the front of the line, especially if it's an urgent case. So let's just stop that for a moment there. Okay, let's see if we can get Carol on by voice and just briefly talk about this, see what she's up to here. Carol, are you there?
Yes, I am.
So,
Hello.
yes, I'm here. You're doing fabulous with the sound. So what are some of your thoughts after seeing some of the things that we came up with today?
Luckily, I feel more confident knowing that they are some of my own thoughts.
Hmm.
Basically, I've been trying to minimize everything because she had two huge bags of loads of different well-researched vitamins and minerals and different probiotics and all sorts of things. There was just so much going on. It was really, it was almost like a wall of defense in a way. There was just so much
Yeah.
to look at that it was almost distracting me away from where I wanted to go. So it's good confirmation for me. Um, but I think the clove oil or the clove powder might be a really good call, just because that also really helped her daughter. So
Mm.
I I think that might
Yeah.
be, as well as like you say, a really good focus on the digestion. But I mean, she is disciplined, but then she is quite undisciplined when you tell her what to take because she wants to go off and she'll keep adding other bits in and well, I just took this and then I took that and then I took this too because I really think I need this. So
Yeah,
um
it's really tough with your chronic cases that have a whole lot going on at
oh,
one time.
it really
It's
is. It's good learning, but yeah, difficult.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, it's great if you can get her on this idea of just sort of stripping everything away and sort of simplifying it. And hey, we're just going to focus on this one system, and then let us know as you're doing both the harmonizing, pardon me, energetically for this, and maybe your very best tool chest of digestive wellness practices if her
Yeah.
other symptoms seem to get better over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, because I mean she has done the bitters and things, but it's
Hmm.
nothing's been constant. It's kind of like, oh, throw some bitters in here, throw a different probiotic in there,
Yeah.
take something else there, and then you of course you get despondent, and I totally understand that when you're so
Hmm.
reactive, to everything, um,
Hmm.
you just want to throw a blanket of all sorts of good things that you've researched, don't you? So I do understand that side of it.
Yeah, you may want to just have an agreement from her that she'll just put I've had to do that with clients often is I just ask them, are you willing to put these other things aside for a period of time? But
Yeah.
it is only a period of time. Like it's just like a vacation, we're only going to do this for 21 days. you could do that. You could do anything for 21 days, and then you give them a specific program, like this is a project. You know, this is your customized cleanse, and then
Sure.
send them off with those specific instructions. Only do this, and if they're willing, then great. You know, if they're not, then you
Sure.
know what can you do? You're doing your best.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't even get into all of the other things because they're only complicating
Yeah.
the issue where I think she's going to have a lot of strides. There are very significant things to discuss, but I would wait and see what remedies itself after 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I did have a question. Did any of the emotional pieces seem to fit for her?
Completely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she can't relax. I mean, it's interesting that she's a yoga teacher and um, you know, she knows it too. She said, you know, I go for a massage and I don't get the same effect as everyone else. I can't relax. You know, it's that kind of I can't seem to turn off. You know, it's that whole parasympathetic internal stress that she finds really hard to turn off. So we've been doing the energetic work for that too. But it is a hard place to go with her. So I think it's just gently, really.
Fantastic. I think it's a great approach. I think that mixing gently in the emotional aspects is really powerful because it
Mm,
allows people to sort of come back from their mental gyrations about there's no reason for this, there's no reason for this. And when they see sort of symptoms coming up with these emotional descriptions, they can kind of begin to maybe sort of weave these things together. Oh, maybe this is because of or
yeah.
connected to this piece.
I mean, what she will tend to do is intellectualize it.
Of
And
course.
you know, and I understand it all, and I just need to do this. So yeah, it's a tricky one, but thank you for that. I really do appreciate it. It's
Okay.
helped a lot.
Okay. Fantastic, Harold. Okay. Talk to you again soon then.
Thank you so much. Okay, bye bye.
Okay. Well, really great to and it's nice to have the UK presence too. I'm glad this is at a time, you know, Catherine, I see Catherine has joined us today and some of our wonderful UK friends. So, warm welcome, Eric. I just want to sort of just call out Yolanda is here. Thank you, Yolanda, for being here. And Karen from Canada is here. Roni, thank you so much for being here. Surya, we haven't seen you in a while. So good to have you. Sue is here. Sue O. And thank you so much. I usually just say the last initial. Of course, Grace from Massachusetts is here. Donato is here. Warm welcome to you. Chantal is here. Thank you for attending. You know, come back as many times as possible, you guys. Volunteer for a scan. We do often do a deep dive, so I'm trying to get maybe I'll try to get minimum 2 in each day, so I'll strive to do better on that. And of course, you can schedule a consultation. Definitely sign up for that cancer class if you can. Join us for that. And we'll have our Facebook Live on Thursday where we'll be doing an interview format and Ryan Williams, our developer, will be there as well. I hope you have a wonderful week. You can watch this recording on my website in the next 24 hours. So go to Awaken Total Health and watch the past videos there. And also just hit up the contact me and say hi. Let me know you're out there and if there's anything I can do for you to make your genius experience better. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful week, everyone. Take care and be well. Bye-bye for now.